He got turn on always allow. Mm.
You, if you wanted to actually be in the podcast. If not, then oh no, I'm just playing. I'm just chilling.
He did a fake fucking. There we go.
Did you beat the person in SOB?
Did I? You say what?
Did you win the SOB?
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Okay, y'all gotta go to loot this. Bill's just such a. No, I didn't know it was last minute. Yeah, give me time. I got fear.
Replay, Rogers. Come on.
Oh, Meek Mill gonna be at the Super Bowl. He going on tour, I think.
I have never seen Rogers miss a pad that bad in Madden, bro. Come on.
Yeah, he'll be in Philly on March 15th.
I know, he gonna be
The Mets. Oh, he coming to Washington D.C. See, I gotta figure out who going on tour with him. I don't just want to sit there and listen to.
Here we go. Good throw, good throw, Rod.
No track. I don't want to listen. I'm not paying all that money to go watch somebody rap over a track. No, I said I would give him a chance. I said I'd give him a chance. Yeah, I don't know if he do good or not. If he don't do good, you know.
First down. Let's get it, yo. Keep playing.
Alright, I'm gonna start in 3 minutes.
Pop him out. Let's go, Rogers. That's how you throw the ball. Rogers! Touchdown! Wait, I'm curious to know this. I'm in Arizona's dome, and it's blowing 13 miles per hour. The logic?
They got it open. Retractable.
They joint open?
Yeah, they're retractable.
I thought they. I didn't think they did. Let's go 7 up, yo. Just because we almost 6 don't mean we're almost 16. Just had a bad start. That's it. We the best team in NFC West, AFC West. Trust me, best team. Every other team in this joint suck.
I'm getting blessed right now. Booker's breaking. There you go, DeAndre. Bang on him.
Good defense. Great defense.
Alright, let me get this thing started.
Who you playing?
Got things I had to do.
You
can't let him get hot.
Alright, I gotta charge my phone. Hold on 1 second.
Bro, I got 23 points halfway through the third quarter.
Alright, here we go. Is Ben on the mic?
Should be. Oh my goodness. Ben.
Guess we'll wait for him. Oh, shoot.
Keep on playing, y'all. That's all I can really add. Just keep on playing. Let the game come to you, because you guys are... No? Playing a guy named Mini Man 98.
The hardest thing is gonna be me trying to figure out whether I'm resigning Perryman or Garcon. Garcon is a beast.
Every time...
Sign your beat back.
No, because then Perryman is a beast too. I'm waiting for Ben and then I'll start.
I'm gonna get a quick nap so she's down like 20 minutes, so I'm just like nap so we get on that. Alright, y'all.
Alright, my siege.
I got a quarterback with quick development, bruh. This dude is a beast. Alright, I don't know what Ben doing, so I guess we'll just start this thing. Invite Mo in here, please. You know, we on the podcast. You're right. Invite these people. They join, they don't, they don't. Mo's not on. TG. Appearing on. Alright, it's public anyway. Okay, cool. Alright, let me make sure I got my... Alright, well... Just gonna wait for Ben, but... So I ain't gonna do that. Make sure this thing is up.
I got him. Pass interference.
Is Chris joining?
Come on.
Say what? Chris doing what?
Is he joining?
I don't know if he on yet. I just seen him. He got on.
Oh. Alright, well, I did the NFL podcast today because NFL is, the season just about over. There's only one big game left. And then, after that game, it's free agency off season. And that's a whole different thing. And so, it was kind of thrown together show. The topics will still be just as legit as it would in a regular show. The regular podcast will be Saturday. I want to say around 2 or 3, I think is the aim for it. The awards are supposed to be posted today or tomorrow. Hopefully you're not allowed to vote twice, because we know some of you vote several times. But one of the things that I want to start off with is Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Nick Foles took them to the playoffs this year. He went on and lost to the Saints. I would say mostly due to Alshon Jeffrey. But he had potential to take them back to the Super Bowl. I don't think that the Rams could have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles, even if it was in LA. And so one of the things that came out from rumors and all that was that they view Carson Wentz as selfish. A lot of players took to Twitter and defended him, and said he wasn't selfish, it was a lie. But then a lot of people, fans, and everybody else are like, Nick Foles gets my full support, and we don't want Nick Foles to leave. Carson Wentz contract year I don't think is next year. I think it's the year after next. No, I'm sorry, next year is his 4th year. So his contract year will be next year. But he's proven that he can't even, withstand a whole season, his last 2 seasons. And so Nick Foles has at least played consistent enough to have this team win. Took them to the playoffs. Luckily, they got in. And now all of a sudden, everybody is trying to make the decision whether or not you keep Foles or if you keep Wentz. And so, Farrell, I'm going to ask you first. Would you keep Foles or Wentz?
Go to Reese for me and something.
Okay. Reese, would you take Wentz or Foles, or would you try to keep both? You would have to pay big money to Foles now. And one of your bowl ain't took it to playoff.
No, there's no way you keep both just for that reason, taking that too much money. But I would just still take Wentz just because he's younger. And Foles, besides his last Super Bowl year and what he done this year, he hasn't done anything without being in the system. Like, it wasn't too long ago where he was the Rams and Chiefs. He was contemplating retirement because he wasn't, he wasn't playing well. So I just think he in the right system, right spot where he at, and he getting money greedy. Want to be a starter again. He got that, that fountain of youth, I guess. He's reborn or whatever. So I think it's going to fail again. So I think but he's getting his money, so can't be mad at him. But I would take Wentz.
Is Farrell ready? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ready. It sucks to say this, but you gotta take Wentz, tip to the fact what Reese said. Nick Foles hasn't had really success anywhere else. He's a system guy. And he reminds me of a lot of Matt Flynn when he was on Green Bay. When he left, and the grass wasn't green on opposite sides. So you keep Wentz because Wentz is your future guy. That's unless Wentz don't show he really truly can't get healthy. But that's the choice you got to make now because Foles want to get paid now. So you take Wentz in the long run. Well, now.
Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of people in the on Twitter and all that, and obviously the fan base, and then the team rallies around Nick Foles much differently than they would Carson, I believe. And so I would find a way to try to get Nick to stay one more year, just for the sake of Carson Wentz going down. Carson Wentz, I wouldn't pay him a big contract, even if he does stay healthy next year, because if you've seen how he played compared to Nick Foles, I don't even know if it's much of just Nick Foles playing. To me, is more of the team energy surrounding him.
Wentz had a great season last year when he was healthy, like MVP caliber. So
but even if would Wentz, I guess you can't say with Wentz they wouldn't have won the ball, but when you have somebody like Nick Foles who stepped up 2 years in a row in situations and done what he done, I think it was more of if Nick took them to the Super Bowl this year, he would have undoubtedly been back next year. But now it's like, all right, we have what we have in Wentz. My issue is if you get rid of Foles and Wentz goes down again, you gonna keep bringing Wentz back? Are you gonna invest your franchise in him? Because
they took him with the #1 overall pick, so they have to.
Yeah, but how long do you? Well, Foles wants to become a starter, and so I think he will get, regardless, he'll be, in the market. I don't know who would sign him. I guess somebody like Washington or somebody, but he has a certain system that he plays well in. And I remember a couple years ago when he threw 27 touchdowns, was it 2 interceptions with Philly? And then he went on the St. Louis Rams, he was terrible. Then he went to Kansas City Chiefs, he was bad. Now he's back in Philly. And so I don't know if it's just a Philly thing. Talking about Philly, I know a lot of people want the reunion with Deshaun Jackson. I don't think it'll happen, but I know a lot of people want it. And then I also know that uh, Philly fans are going to become divided once this decision is made. Second topic is this New Orleans Rams situation. One of the problems with restarting the game would be if you restarted this game, though the rule says you can, but if you restarted this game, then you would probably have to restart a lot of games. The down part about this situation, though, is that it hurts Breeze and Peyton's legacy more than anything, because I don't think that I can say the better team of the NFC is in the Super Bowl. I know they was up by 13. I know they was up and doing their thing. Rams played without Gurley. I don't know what happened. I know they say he was injured, but they played without Gurley. But had that call been made, there's a big chance that Saints would have won. Now there were a lot of blown calls with, somebody had stepped on the head of a player, and a lot of plays that were missed. But that was the most blatant, probably the worst non-call I've ever seen. I mean, since I've watched football. And so I think that a lot of NFL fans and a lot of Saints fans specifically are waiting for Roger Goodell to speak out. He did come out today, or his people came out today and said that he will speak Wednesday on the situation. I don't think that is much he can say. I don't even think that he could probably restart, because if he restart this game, there's going to be something, and not only that, it's going to be something that if the Saints were to win, then you're going to get a lot of people, the NFL wanted the Saints to win. They wanted to see Brady versus Breeze. If the Saints were to lose, then a lot of people would say, well, duh, because you should have called the play right then and there. We had the momentum, whatever, all that. But this is Breeze's second time getting to the conference championship, 2 years back to back. Was it 2 years? No, I'm sorry. Last year he went to Minnesota.
They went to the divisional round.
Yeah, Minnesota, and something happened to play with Stephon Diggs. That was crazy. And so now this year they get bounced out at home. As crazy it is to play in the dome. And Nola thought that they were going to go on to play in ATL, which would have been a awfully mess down there. And so Roger Goodell, to me, can't really speak out on it. I think that he can say, it was a blown call. I mean, what's going to happen to the ref? They can't fire him over that. The ball, from what I've seen, and it can be debated, but from the plays I've seen and the angles I've seen, all the things, the ball was tipped. And so though the helmet is still there, I don't know if you can call pass interference since the ball was tipped. It wasn't like tipped to the point where his whole hand hit it, but you can see the top of his finger had rubbed against the ball, and it took the ball in a different direction. And so I will start with Farrell this time. Hopefully he's... would you... Because I want to say, as a fan, if I was a fan of New Orleans, I'd be like, yes, do it. But as an NFL fan, could you restart a game like that? And it's because it's so much on the line of legacy.
It's so much on the line, but it's the NFL, in my opinion, is all about pride. The NFL, they're gonna admit they're wrong, but they're not gonna, because it's been multiple calls where people are saying, "Wow, like it's been multiple blown calls." Multiple.
You
can't. I mean, it sucks that it happened there. It really does suck that it happens there, but that's pretty much you could do for it. You just gotta. They just can't put themselves in that predicament. We're not saying they deserved it.
In that same token, I know that call, the game would have been all but over, basically. But the Saints got the ball first in OT at home, still a chance to win the game, free throw pick. So even with that being done, they had a chance. So
that's true. I think it'll forever be something that's conflicted with back and forth. My second thing, and I wanted to get on this topic because it's kind of, if you watched the Super Bowl last year, Brady didn't go to Foles and say congratulations. I believe he didn't. I don't think he went to Foles, because I think that was a big headline. He didn't go to Foles and say congratulations or any of that. But it was reported that Brady asked his security to join, to escort him to Mahomes to console him after the loss, which to me is kind of uncalled for. I know usually what happens is the quarterbacks meet in the middle of the field, take a game and call it a day. Mahomes didn't handle the loss well. He cried, but I guess is expected, kind of due to the magnitude in the game, and he's a young player. And they didn't start the game really until the second half, and Brady had to. If that guy didn't jump off sides, Brady would have lost. But I want to say one of the things that is kind of irritating to me is that you would ask security to carry you over to see Mahomes right across the field. Nobody's gonna jump on the field.
No offense, so not to cut you off, but no offense to Nick Foles or Mahomes. Mahomes, I would give I see what you're going here. I'm saying it like this: when you've been in the game so long, you're not gonna get congratulations for just getting noticed, and that's what Nick Foles is basically asked, like, what they're making it of. But Patrick Mahomes, he really had a season for the ages. Like, 55 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards, second year starting, and then to go blow to blow with the GOAT, or one of the GOATs. So that's a hell of a player, right? Even though I'm one of the people who's gonna say, well, look who he has around him, but to go toe to toe with Brady is never easy, because Brady, like, only a few can go blow to blow with Brady. Not saying Nick Foles and Mahomes are different. Nick Foles done had years to watch Brady personally. Mahomes only had 1 season, 2 seasons. So that's a hell of a kid right there. That kid.
Well, I don't know. I think more of it to me is, what's the whole security thing for? I don't know. I don't know if that was it, because for me it's more of, Brady just being uncalled for, trying to, cause a scene or something. Sometimes I think Brady knows the impact of things that he do, how it's gonna go in the media. I think he just loves just sitting back and watching it happen and unfold. Mahomes played like a great season. Can never really take that away from him. He played a season that many probably would never get to play. I don't even know if there's been a quarterback in his second year who showed out the way that Mahomes did. Also, with giving Mahomes credit, I'm also going to say, like, he has, like, weapons for days. But so did Alex Smith, and Alex Smith had a good season, but didn't have a great season the way that Mahomes did. And so I assume that he will win MVP. I don't know for sure, because I do know there are some calling for Breeze, some Gurley, some
honestly, with
Brady.
Going to the MVP thing, I wouldn't even give it to Gurley no more. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Gurley is not. He's like not even with that Reese. Gurley MVP is the most valuable player of the team, correct? Or in the NFL, correct?
Yeah, like if you took that play off the team, that's how it's supposed to be.
No offense to Gurley. Gurley. Listen, him and Zeke is right there. But with Gurley, if you take Gurley away from the Rams are still dominant. They're still a hell of a team. Like, Gurley is not saying Gurley is just a man amongst boys. But
so if you was Bill Belichick, Bill known for taking your best player away, you taking Gurley away.
But yeah, you've seen they've been eating with C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, they eat. That's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying I thought the Rams were a Gurley team. Like, if Gurley wasn't like, because when they played the Bears a couple weeks back, me and Reese was talking about it. You take away Gurley, the Rams couldn't score. They couldn't even move the ball. But then it looked like the Rams adapted. Like, all right, you guys take away Gurley, we don't need Gurley. C.J. Anderson has been a steady back for them. Like, in the middle of the game, people were saying he was hurt, but C.J. Anderson has been a guy for them. So when it comes to MVP, I would say Breeze. Or most likely, I'm gonna say Mahomes actually.
Well, I
Because
don't even
Mahomes,
know
as
if
you said,
Breeze. Yeah, let's say I don't know if Breeze really
as
has.
you said, as Mahomes, like you take Mahomes away, yeah, you're gonna do good, but the kid
Chiefs
threw for
defense has
55
been,
touchdowns.
yeah, but
And
Chiefs
as you
defense has
Mahomes
said, the
been
Chiefs
never
defense
did.
is,
miserable.
yeah, like I was the Chiefs defense is just. I could finally say some a defense is worse than Green Bay. Like that defense is horrible. Like
Yeah, I haven't really seen too many
horrible.
defenses as bad as the Chiefs. Um, Mahomes found himself in a lot of shootouts, and I would assume if they had just a little bit more of a better secondary, didn't they get rid of what is that dude name? He's
Marcus Peters, yeah. But even with
Marcus
Marcus
Peters.
Peters, they got rid of Marcus Peters because he was actually a cancer for them. Like he was giving up big plays. Not he was making big plays, but he was giving up big plays as well. So like that Chiefs defense, that defense is horrible.
But I mean, I think it's gonna be
Mahomes.
I think it's gonna be like that for a while with Andy Reid being such an offensive type of coach. I don't think that Mahomes will continue this domination. I really don't, because after a while they're gonna have to stop paying. I say take Kelsey out of the offense. It's not his firepower. I mean
He's a huge part.
yeah. I mean we seen what happened. You know, once you take out Hill. Mahomes, you know, he starts to, and then at the same time he's also young, so I can't really blame him as much neither because he still has growing to
I
do.
think Mahomes solidified his MVP going toe to toe with Brady. Like not taking nothing away, not saying Brady is this, that, and the third, but Mahomes was really like Brady. Like Mahomes, even though he started slow, yes, Mahomes was taking blows, giving them right back. Like
Yeah, if that defense could
steps
stop
up
him,
in
if
the-
that
in the
guy's,
fall.
if that guy isn't offsides, Chiefs win the game. And I think that's the thing about it. Watching these playoffs, I've seen a lot of crazy endings, a lot of crazy stuff going on. And for me, I didn't understand a lot of the things. I didn't understand why they had Mahomes back there. I don't even think Kareem Hunt. He didn't play as much of a purpose as I thought he would have. I thought with Kareem Hunt being out, that the Chiefs would get blown out by Brady and them. I mean, though they had offensive weapons, I just figured the moment was too big for Mahomes. It wasn't. He still showed up. But he also has a lot of growing to do.
If Mahomes steps up early in the game, that's a W for
That's
them,
a game.
man, easily.
It's a game for them. But I think one of the things that happened, I mean, you look at this upcoming Super Bowl, I'm not impressed by no team. I do think Brady is going to beat the Rams.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not really.
Simply because they don't have a
think the
secondary.
Rams- Honestly, the Rams. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Reese told me this last year. You pressure Brady, that's his ass. But the thing the Rams lack, the Rams start the game so late. They arrive late. Like, they,
I mean,
like,
you
when they
remember-
played the Saints, they arrived at the end of the second quarter. You play Brady, Brady gonna kill out. Brady ain't not take. Brady is different. He's a different quarterback. Different quarterback.
Well, Ben
who
posted
knows?
Ken's picture.
Yeah, I seen
But no, I think one of the things that's kind of one of the things that get me, because what's his name? He used to play for the Dolphins. Ndamukong Suh. Ain't he on the Rams?
Yeah.
He's gonna be.
been
He's
there,
gonna
but
be. But he know how to get to Brady.
I
And
understand that, Kai. But again, like, I don't know if Reese gonna talk or Reese gonna like say enough for this. But if you don't play Brady 60, 32, 48, but however many minutes it is in a game from start to finish, that's a game. Like Brady, you cannot. You can't. I'm sorry. Like you cannot. You're not gonna beat Brady in the Super Bowl starting slow.
so second thing,
know,
how many years Brady got left?
However many he won, he never gets hit.
That's what I was gonna say. And I know
one luxury that no other quarterback has. I mean, he never gets hit.
a lot of people might, call me out. I don't care, but I think Brady got CTE. I think Brady got
He'll never get
CTE.
hit to have it.
I know, but I just,
What's
for
that?
some reason, I just think he,
Concussion?
The brain injury.
yeah, I just think that he has CTE, and I honestly think that they're protecting him, and they know even when somebody is coming through, he'll slide right to the ground. He don't even give you the chance to even get to him, which is not like it's okay, but he sits in that pocket, and the same way I get like Tom, like that dude can sit in the pocket and just go. And you know, for KC has a pass rush, but they wasn't able to generate it. They wasn't able to generate it, you know, with Brady back there. And I remember when they played in Foxborough early in the year, that they had started getting some type of like pass rush on him. And I remember they said Eric Berry didn't play the first couple years. The first couple games with them when they played New England. But with Eric Berry, without Eric Berry, they still found a way to come through and win. Which I have a hard time actually understanding, because I thought that Eric Berry was a big player. But I remember that injury. No, I'm sorry, was it injury or was it cancer? Was it injury?
Cancer.
Eric Berry had both.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember when they said when he came back that he was a showstopper. Like he was gonna change everything for that team. But I just don't know right now if you. One point in this career of Patrick Mahomes, the defense is gonna get worse. It's gonna get better, but they're gonna have to blow up this defense before they get to start. And if I was them, I wouldn't focus on nothing offensively. I would go in the draft thinking straight defense. But we know with Andy Reid's mind, when they got to pay Tyreek Hill next year, you got to pay Mahomes, what, in 2 years? And so, you got Kelsey, those three you got to pay. There is no other way around it. You got, and they won't want top contracts because they the best of their positions. I don't even know if you would consider, you know, Tyreek Hill best of his position, but he's up there. And so that's one of the things you have to consider.
They have the money just because they don't. Nobody on their defense.
Nobody on their defense really, but they don't want to invest too much on offense. Invest too much on offense, and then they're really in trouble. And so I'm just not sure whether or not I would make the move so quick. You gotta resign Tyreek Hill. Maybe I would let Kelsey go. If I had to let someone of them go, I would let Kelsey go. But I know Kelsey is.
Kelsey is a block. He's a blocking chip guy. If I had to pick one, I'm letting go of Sammy Watkins.
Well, yeah, I think. But how much money is he really gonna ask for anyway? I mean, he's a cheap sign, I would think. But then I don't know. I mean, who knows at the same time? He may not be. Oh, he will want money.
Free agent contract, a big free agent contract.
I'm not sure. I think. I don't know. I guess I would resign. Yeah, I resign Mahomes. I wouldn't give him no 200 million. I don't know why that's. I know the cap going up.
What's going to happen? It'll be quarterback or something.
That's crazy. I wouldn't give him no 200 million. He would be signed to a 7-year contract if that. But I don't even know if you want to invest in him too early too, because he only got 3 years on his contract, right? Because he's not a first round pick, is he? He first round or no?
I'm not sure of his contract.
Let me see. I think he is.
Can you put my trade through?
Yeah.
I'm back on that.
I think that like. I think that's one of the craziest things is I just don't know who I really will resign. I'm trying to wait Ben for call this Cowboys thing, because I know how that's gonna turn out. But I'm on Twitter right now and I see a lot of people calling for the end of the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
A lot of people, what's up? A lot of people don't want the Pro Bowl anymore. A lot of people saying get rid of the Pro Bowl. I know in the NBA, do they have restrictions on how hard you can do this or how hard you can do that in the NBA, or they just let them go?
The NBA, at one point, the NBA was just like the Pro Bowl. Like, it was, people didn't want it because they wasn't playing hard. But then, I understand the NFL, it's a tougher sport.
The All-Star game, I think, is better though.
Yeah,
They
because
just be
like
scoring like
now,
almost 200 points.
yeah, but now the NFL got you can't zone and you can't blitz.
Oh, you can't.
Or touch tackle, really.
Yeah, you can't really tackle, so it's like literally like you're playing touch football, like backyard football. So it's the NFL is I don't know, man.
They should go back to they should go back to where it was at before, but
Right.
just take out the Pro Bowl. They should have like the weightlifting contest. They should just put
I was about to say last
a
year
lot
didn't they
more
have a skills
emphasis on
contest?
that. They had that this year.
Yeah, I'm about to say. It was the other
Russell
day.
Wilson, I think he won the passing grade, but they added
Oh, when
stuff
is
in.
it?
It was Friday.
It happened
Thursday,
already.
Friday, and Sunday.
Oh, it was okay.
But what they should do, they should add the other stuff like that. Before they had the race, the 40-yard race, they had the bench press contest. They should just add a bunch of individual contests because then people will really go hard. But the Pro
Well, they
Bowl
don't.
is-
They
Players
don't.
too. Players don't want to be a part
Yeah, I
of
was
it.
about to say, like, you got people just backing out. Like, people don't even want to come to the thing anymore. I remember the Pro Bowl used to be fun. AFC versus
And the thing
NFC.
is, I think like the NBA, they did it smart. Like every time a person wins a challenge, they get rewarded for like the winner of the
Right,
All-Star
yeah.
game. They win $500,000. So that's something
I know
NFL
they
should
do that in the
Some
NFL,
kind of
but it's not,
incentive,
it's not, it's not, it's not that much. I think NFL is like each player gets 40,000 for the losing.
Don't they get like? Don't, yeah, I was about to say, don't they get 200,000 something? And then they no, I'm sorry, that's the Super Bowl. They get like 60,000, then they get 10,000 to donate to whatever, something they want.
Something for that, so, but it's still, it's literally target practice for the quarterback, honestly. You really
Yeah, I
want the
mean-
quarterback really takes like target practice.
Well, I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. I mean, I guess I would attend, but at the same time, my second question would be like, what's the point of it? But one of the things that was going against across a lot of the sports shows this week was the face of the NFL once Brady retires. Now you got a couple quarterbacks. Some people, I'm a fan of Twitter, so I always go read the comments. Some people believe that Gurley or Zeke or another wide receiver could be a face of the NFL. I don't think in the NFL that nobody will be the face unless they are the quarterback. And so I would assume that when Brady retires that there will be a quarterback to take over the face of the NFL. My personal thing, I don't think it'll be Russell Wilson or Cam Newton. For that matter, I think that Patrick Mahomes won't be. So
Probably take a little time to figure out who's gonna be. But unfortunately, players like Cam Newton and Russell Wilson, they still kind of in that Brady era. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Russell
Honestly-
Wilson, he's been in the league like 10 years already. So they
Yeah,
still.
but man, the thing is, I think Wilson. I mean, I'm a Rodgers guy. So when Rodgers go, okay.
I don't even think it's gonna be
Wilson
Rodgers.
is- I think Wilson's gonna be the. Listen, something about Wilson just won't let him go. Like Wilson,
How long though? He's been in the league. Like, by the time Brady retired, Russell Wilson probably been in the league like 12 or 13 years already. It's
Yeah.
still only coming to the end. Like, to be a face of the league and be there for a long time, it's gonna be hard to follow. You gotta really. Maybe the league would be more even killed. Like right now when Braun leave or whatever the case, or when the Warriors break up, the league is gonna be way more even. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I wouldn't even know who to face, honestly. Probably Jared Goff. I've seen like a lot of
I mean, a lot of people are saying Jared Goff.
Golf showed he's a system guy. Like Golf not too long ago. He
But that's
had
the same thing they say
mediocre
about Brady.
seasons. Wow.
We'll
I remember-
find out about him Sunday.
Well, I remember
See how
I was gonna say, do we judge him though? Because if he lose this thing, then a lot of people gonna be like, no, see, this is why he ain't gonna be the face, or he ain't gonna be
The
that.
Rams probably gonna be huge underdogs. So
But he got to the NFL. He got to the Super Bowl, so that is definitely.
I was about to say, because I feel like he been overshadowed. His first year was just garbage. The Rams spent a lot of money this offseason, didn't he? Huh?
and they lost Cooper Cup, but yeah, the Rams, they just spent a lot
They
of
spent a
money.
lot of money this offseason, and I don't think they got the result that they wanted defensively.
Not at all. Not at
I
all.
mean,
Yeah.
but he never, it's hard to argue because they in the Super Bowl. Like,
That's what
I
I
mean,
said.
yeah, I just think that throughout Jared Goff's career, he's been overshadowed by a lot of young quarterbacks. Nobody before this offseason went down, because I know when this offseason went down, a lot of people was like, "Yo, Rams going to Super Bowl," but I mean, Patrick Mahomes, who else? Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz.
Right now, honestly, I was gonna say the league run kind of. I think right now, just say all those older quarterbacks is on like A-Rod and Brady and Roethlisberger, Rivers. Literally, the league is riding with Carson Wentz. Like it seem like they love him. Like they love him.
I was gonna say, yeah, they do.
He's more of a NFL brand kind of guy. Anyway, that's what I'm feeling.
So you don't think that it could ever be like a rookie, a running back, or somebody that could be the face?
Nah, because they never, like, those players never be the franchise player. Like, any good defense, really, because how simple these running plays are, any good defense could put a stop to a certain thing. Like, Zeke led the league in rushing, but he played the Rams and had a hard time rushing. Like, any good defense with the simple runs can really stop him. That's more of a passing league. You get a player like Wentz, who's loved by the fans, loved by the NFL, who he's doing a lot of stuff off the field, and he's an MVP kind of person when he's healthy. So it seems like that. But him, Mahomes or Goff, I could see one of them being a face.
I can't really see. No, I'm not taking nothing away from Wentz again. I can't see Wentz being the face of NFL because the same way they doing Rodgers. With Rodgers, they saying Rodgers isn't the face of NFC no more because he got an injury problem. So I think I wouldn't say Wentz. Honestly, I would be a cow with this one. I would say that what's his name? Patrick Mahomes. That kid.
But I don't even. I'm be honest with you.
Special.
I'm be honest with you. I don't know if they will like. I don't know if they would ever put Patrick Mahomes on the front, like the NFL, the face of the NFL. Brady gonna be here for how many years? Maybe 3 or 4. Well, we always say 3 or 4, but I guess until he really get like a crucial injury. And so, I really think personally deep down on the inside that Brady is trying to outlast Bill. Because I do think Brady wants to play 1 year without Bill Belichick on his side. But Jared Goff, if Jared Goff win the Super Bowl ring, I mean, what can you say about him? Nothing really. But if he loses,
And especially taking out breathing, though the call for the asterisk next to it, but even the Saints, that's big time. I ain't gonna lie to you.
well, going into the dome,
He beat Dallas, and
it's
Dallas
crazy.
was like number 4 ranked at that point. So
And he played without Gurley.
So yeah, Gurley didn't get much playing time. I think that's definitely a accomplishment of his own. And Cooper Cup being hurt.
So wait, no, my question has been, because we was talking about this earlier, do you think Gurley or Patrick Mahomes should win MVP?
After my own, easily. He's literally the best player in the NFL. It don't matter how you put it. He is the best player.
Well, they called for Breeze for a while.
My question was though, like, because when they say MVP, is he the best player to help his team? Is he the most valuable player in the NFL? Or
Yeah, right now, like this season, if we going off everything in that one season just built in, which is the award is based off of one season. If you had to pick somebody first, it definitely should be Patrick Mahomes. He had the best season. He was definitely the most valuable player of anything.
I mean, but
He had the season he had was just crazy.
so do you have him playing like this for the rest of his career?
Oh nah, that's cool. This is what he did last year was like Peyton Manning numbers. That's not.
Because I was that's what I was trying to say. I think as time, I don't think nobody expected. Everybody knew Mahomes had a arm on him. I mean, like everybody knew that. But I think this year was more of a hype year, and I think he gonna put up regular numbers next year. I do.
You always gotta see it another year. It was good to see him still do pretty good without Hunt. I don't know how good or how bad he do without him, but I know he ain't been too awful. But it was good to see him do good without Hunt. But yeah, I mean, it's always gonna be like you need another year to see how it goes. But this year was just incredible. But it's been so many busts at quarterback from just look at since Geno Smith came in, Geno Smith, Cardell Jones,
I remember that. Yeah.
it's been so many busts at quarterback. Winston, Mariota, not really bust, but not great. Like there's been so many of them that when you see someone finally come in and do the numbers they do, like you gotta congratulate them because there's been too many people on the other side of that. Like Winston and Mariota, they're the number one and the number two picks. And
Yeah, but I mean, what's
they don't have a bad roster, and they look bad. You know what I'm saying? So when you
well,
finally
Mariota looks really bad. Like I didn't think I thought Mariota had some type of potential or something. And Mariota just looks
and the
terrible.
one thing with Mariota, once he's the second fastest quarterback in the NFL, like he could definitely have some type of ease throwing the ball, being that his legs is always like a weapon. So I'm surprised that he's not doing good. I think it's a big step for him.
Well, I mean, one of the things that I would think. Wait a minute, I'm trying to figure out this Pro Bowl news. It says, did Juju Smith get hurt during the Pro Bowl? Everybody's saying he got hurt. But anyway, how do you think Juju? How do you think the Bears will do next season? The only reason I ask is because Jordan Howard, who I thought was like a top running back, from what I've heard about him, I thought he was a top running back. But it seems like with this new coach, huh?
Now what you want to say?
Also, it seemed like they lost their coach. That made their defense what it was. And so, I mean, I think a coach plays a way bigger role than what, fans of the Bears. Like Die Hard has this thing of no matter what coach, we still give the same result. I don't think so. Because the Bears defense ain't...
Honestly, I'm going to be straightforward with you. The Bears defense is the reason they won games. That was their MO. We're going to beat you because our defense is better. And now, if you look at Mitch Trubisky, let me tell you something. Mitch Trubisky, what was his numbers? 20. Let me see a second. If I'm not mistaken, he was 24 and like 14, and he threw 6 of those in one game. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, did a huge
So, not hating on Mitch Trubisky. I'm not taking that away, but that team is without that defense. That team is a regular squad, and the reason why I say that, granted, that's the MO. That's basically saying like you take away Brady, Patriots is gone. But the Bears, what they did was they got the best pass rusher, or one of them, and it showed. It showed that with a pass rusher would do anything. The thing where the Bears went wrong at, the Bears still gotta play. They still gotta pay their main guys, and now they're not gonna know who to pay with that defense in array, because now they got to sign a couple guys, whether it's Jordan Howard, whether it's Amos, whether it's Bryce Callahan, whether it's like, so the Bears' hands are tied right now, and they still got to pay Mitch Trubisky, and nobody knows how good it is. So I think the Bears, they fall next year, whether it's 2, whether it's 3, but they're definitely not 4. But I'll say 2 or 3 they fall.
I think the Bears, they definitely, I think they're gonna get rid of Jordan Howard. It seemed like they was going away from it anyway, which is stupid because even when they had that weak O-line a couple years ago, he still was running for 1,000 yards. They just got
Easy.
used to Tyreek Cohen, and they started liking him. They giving Tyreek a lot of touches, so he looks really bad this year, but he's a great running back. So
Yeah,
he's
easily.
much more serviceable than Tyreek Cohen. Tyreek Cohen, he's a big-time player, but he's definitely, Tyreek Cohen is not. I'm not gonna say he's not a starter running back in the league because that's what he's doing. But he's a speed guy, like they need Jordan Howard. He's
I
definitely
just
running
thought
back.
I
And
just thought they
probably the
used.
Yeah,
reason,
Ben posted a nice picture like a couple weeks back with a 1,000 yard running back streak the first 3 seasons in the league. And no, I'm not looking towards Zeke. I'm not looking towards Zeke. I'm
yeah,
looking.
Jordan Howard's up there. He was like number
Yeah,
two or
Jordan
number
Howard's
three.
up there.
And he
Oh,
and the thing is, they gave Tariq Cohen a lot of stuff, and that's the reason Jordan Howard. That's the reason Trubisky probably didn't have a great season because we all see what quarter running backs do for quarterbacks. Look at Wentz, if he got a 1,000 yard rusher. Look at Prescott when he got a 1,000 yard rusher. Even Russell Wilson numbers stayed great when he finally got some 1,000 yard rushes on his team. Not putting Jordan Howard to work. While no one's playing to respect a run game, so they're just gonna play as basics. You know what I'm saying? I watched the Bears play the Vikings, and the Vikings looked like they was in like some cover three rush and just only four, and the Bears wasn't running the ball. They was like daring them to run kind of thing. So
And I was gonna ask because
out of their offense.
one of the things that I see is I don't know how much money Jordan Howard will want. I mean, when they used him, he had good results, but at the same time, like, yeah, you just don't know how much money he gonna want. And then, I mean, his diehard is.
He's a great running back. The tricky part is though, he's another one who can't stay healthy. Like he can't stay healthy, and that's why it's so tricky because
Howard was getting hurt.
yeah, he gets hurt quite often. So whether it's missing snaps or when he's on the field, he's a beast. He's a beast. But when he misses a lot of time, so the Bears' hands are tied. But as you said, if they were to get rid of Jordan Howard, it'd be dumb because they don't have a guy where you could just say you could stack the box and they need 2 yards to get a touchdown. They don't have that. They only got the finesse guard. They only got the finesse guy in the back. It'd be really dumb of them.
Well,
I know they're not going to keep him, but I think I can almost guarantee the Bears are going to get.
Honestly, if I'm not mistaken, they already moved on from Jordan Howard. They're looking at Kareem Hunt.
well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Diehard had posted.
That was true. They plan on bringing Kareem Hunt.
Something like that wouldn't be smart because unless they're going to run a two back open like a split back or shotgun split because Kareem Hunt is a slower version. I mean, he's a good runner. Don't get me wrong. He's a good all-around back, but I think Jordan Howard is better between the tackles, and they still already got three going already.
I mean, you add the NFL's leading rusher last year, Jason. I think, regardless, it'll make it somewhat better. Because they know that Trubisky ain't, like, he's not that. Die Hard knows, too. They win the game rushing, play action, defense. That's the MO.
If you watch the Bears offense, the offense is trickery. They don't beat you
Right.
through the air. They straight run trick plays. Like I was watching the game, I'm not sure who, but they did a play action on a goal line where the right tackle pulled off as a receiver. So they don't beat you through our plays, but they beat you through trick plays. So that honestly, how long is that gonna last anyway?
If
I
not,
don't even know. It won't last. It won't last. I mean, I think realistically speaking, if you give, because it's the same thing goes with Matthew Stafford. I don't know what you really do to Detroit. I mean, Matthew Stafford, I thought when they invested the money in him, he was going to do his thing. Kirk Cousins, I think the Vikings are done for a while. So I think it's going to come down to what Detroit does in the draft against if Green Bay gets a defense because if Trubisky has a good defense, Trubisky has to do nothing but game manage. But I don't think that they would have gotten past. Yeah, but I don't
think that's true either though. I disagree with that because me and Ben argue about this all the time. How good is Kirk Cousins? How good is Matthew Stafford? And we all know how good Rodgers is.
Well, Matthew Stafford.
You're not gonna beat those teams with 14 points.
I disagree.
Probably Stafford. I will give you that. But
Kirk Cousins too. Cousins too.
Not with Kirk Cousins.
Who y'all think taking that division?
What you say?
Who y'all think winning that division next year?
It's gonna be. It's
honestly,
gonna
I
come
look
down.
as a
It's gonna come
Packers
down
fan,
to whether or
it's
not Green Bay has the defense. If Green Bay has the defense, Green Bay will win.
not
But
even that we need a defense. I would say it depends if Rodgers don't give up on us again. Rodgers gave up on Green Bay midway season, and I would be the first to admit that.
why?
He didn't give up. The team just was
If-
bad.
I thought he. I'm
even
be
with
realistic.
that,
Bias
even with that, I
aside,
was listening to Undisputed like a couple weeks back, and Shannon Sharp said something about Rodgers, and then if you look back, it was the Cardinals game. It was McCarthy's last game. McCarthy had made a play call, and Rodgers looked him right off and did another call, and then Rodgers threw it out, and
well,
Rodgers didn't even talk
I don't
to
know if
nobody.
it was much. I don't know if it was much of Aaron Rodgers giving up on a team rather than Aaron Rodgers being fed up with McCarthy. Because
It could
I
be
thought,
both.
I thought that, you know, bias aside, I thought that Aaron Rodgers feel like this is my team. I feel like McCarthy is also the type of person to feel like it's my team, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers feels as if he has enough respect and enough worth on that team to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. A lot of times, McCarthy will call plays. It could be 3rd and 1, and he calls a dumb play deep down the field.
Yes.
And I'm saying
but see,
Aaron Rodgers
that's
gets fed up with that,
that's
and so
why
then he
everybody
fired.
that's what everybody don't understand, Kai, because that's something that's really not really true. Because when Rodgers let McCarthy call the game versus the Vikings, and that was the game where it was 4th and 1, and the Vikings have, Reese, how many was it, 8 or 9 in the box? I think 9, and he goes out and comes on a single back and just let the guy run up right into them. Like
Right into the blitz.
So
Well,
it's-
Rodgers got paid that money, and truth be told, once you get paid that much money, this is your team. And I thought that the whole season was more of him. If you looked at his facial expressions, it was a lot over to the sideline with McCarthy of like, I'm fed up, or I'm tired of this, or I'm tired of that, or I'm ready, I want to do my own thing. And I thought after a while that McCarthy got fed up with Rodgers, I think, and I think Rodgers got fed up with McCarthy. I don't think they probably had a good relationship back in 2011, 2012 maybe, but I truly think that ran out, because I think that Rodgers, probably is like, we what have we done the last couple of years? Y'all keep giving me this, I don't have a defense, it's non-existent, and that has to drive a quarterback crazy after a while. But you look at half of these teams, and even with Andrew Luck, you're like, all right, if y'all finally give him an offensive line and defense, he'll do his thing. Now he did it. When will Rodgers get a good defense, or are they gonna do what Pittsburgh do and waste the best years of his career? Because
See,
if
with
they waste the best years of his career, he's not getting the ring.
though. I would think Pittsburgh is different though, because Pittsburgh offense is fire everywhere. If you
But
look
I'm
at
saying-
Packers offense, we only have Devontae Adams and an old Jimmy Graham that hasn't done anything.
I'm not talking weapons. I'm talking like quarterback alone. I think for the reason I said Pittsburgh is because for me, Pittsburgh has the ability to be a top team. But if Pittsburgh had a defense, Pittsburgh could beat New England. They beat New England already, but
the thing though, Pittsburgh, they try to get a defense though. If you they draft defense. The first 2 picks of the draft, they try. It's just they're not hitting on them.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they hit on wide receivers left and right. I mean, I would think Green Bay do the same thing. I'm saying I think y'all attempt to get a defense, but I think y'all have to spend money in free agency. I really haven't seen y'all go out on free agency on defense. Last year I know y'all was excited about Jimmy
year.
Graham.
Wilson out week 2. It's like they not getting the right pieces.
And so yeah, I mean
we devoted ourselves to defense last year. We did. We kind of hit on defense, if you want to say that. We got a nice rookie, Jair. Josh Jackson's just terrible. Unfortunate event with Muhammad Wilkerson.
I thought y'all had that Browns defensive coach, because he was good. I thought he
No,
was
that's
good.
the thing. Our defense jumped.
You need the
Our
player
defense
to run the
did
team.
jump. Even with that, our defense did jump. It jumped from, I think, 25 to, 17 or 18.
Yeah, but in the biggest moments, your defense crashed.
We
was
lost
terrible.
Mike Daniels. We lost
we
Dare.
Y'all need to get a new trainer.
banged
That's
up.
what it seemed like. That's what it comes down to. But I just think that if Aaron Rodgers goes out, this year, and they
That's
have a bad
another thing.
defense.
That's
After a while,
another
he
thing.
he got to
Be
step up and
healthy.
say something. I don't even think it's Aaron Rodgers'
Even
healthiness
with that,
because
he gotta stay healthy. Like Rodgers, is another one who he's having trouble staying healthy. Like,
yeah, I mean,
like
but
second year in a
there's
row.
so many games. There's so
That's
many
the
games.
offensive
Truth be
line not
told,
protecting him.
there's so many games. Truth be told, when the offense then put up, you can't expect the offense, I guess, to put up 30 plus points every game. And a lot of games, Packers games you watch, you're like, all right, it's gonna come down to Aaron Rodgers, because the defense get on the field, they're gonna blow it. And so that's what I think it comes down to. Leading to that, I would just ask if you were, no, not if you were a doctor, but anyway, they said that Shazier could very well play sometime next year. Now, take into account that Shazier has so much to risk if he plays again. But he wants to play again. And
That's scary. That's scary.
yeah, the moment something happens, they said this by the time he did it off, it was on the sports radio. I want to say Stephen A. Smith radio, one of their radios. And they said that he has a possibility that he could play sometime next year. Not week 1, but like later in the year he could possibly play. Where's Ben at? Is he on the mic? He went on my.
I think we just gotta call him. Yo, Ben.
Oh no, he must have stepped away. But would you put yourself in that type of danger? He has a heart for football. I understand it, but at the same time, you have a life and a whole life you want to live. You can barely walk. I wouldn't mind him being a coach, a couple years in, but a player again.
What might be his life though?
Even with that though, Reese, that's insane. Like,
It is. But if the
like,
doctor's saying
if you barely I've watched Shazier try to walk. He walks like a legit robot. Like he walks like he can't walk. Like it's sad to see.
Well, has it been 1 year? It's been 1 full year off, or has it been 2? I forgot when he got injured. Was it?
This makes a year. This makes a year, Reese. This makes a year.
I don't remember.
He got injured in the Cincinnati game. I want to say it was like towards the end of the season before this one. So it's been a year. It's been a year.
That's scary. Like, bro, he can barely walk. Like, legit, barely.
But he's been.
Even,
they say he's been rehabbing, and they said that he's been. I think you can ask the chat that maybe tomorrow, because I guess if I was Mike Tomlin, and if I was the owner, I wouldn't even persuade this to happen. I mean, I guess you can't tell nobody how to feel, because if he do get cleared, you can't go and be like, no, Shazier, you're not playing. But if I was a GM, he wouldn't play on my team, only because I would be afraid of what's to happen, because I don't think he'll be full speed until maybe 3 or 4 years down the road. And I had called it when it happened that I thought his career was over with, but they said that if it goes as planned, he'll be playing sometime next year. And so that'll be that. One of the other things about Pittsburgh is they have a situation to deal with between Le'Veon Bell, whose, by the way, agent is talking to Pittsburgh, Antonio Brown, who's, I don't know how you can even describe it.
Rumor has it the Steelers are looking for a fresh start with AB. They don't want they're trying to see if their agent can construct a trade with any team.
But you can't get rid of Antonio Brown. I mean, Juju Smith is a strict product of people double teaming Antonio Brown. They don't have Martavis Bryant. What you're gonna put this on is, first of all, you're gonna have to deal with Connor, who's gonna want to have first starts, and then Le'Veon, who's gonna want to have top starts.
They can't get rid of both of them.
I think Le'Veon, if I'm not mistaken, I think Le'Veon is out the door already. If I'm not mistaken.
But they said his agent talking to him for an extension.
Le'Veon.
But they've been talking the last 3 years.
He's posting on Instagram saying he wants to go to. He wants to play in Miami, but would love to play with Andrew Luck as well. And he's pretty much bashing the Steelers, saying if the Steelers aren't going to pay me, then I don't want to be there. So,
Well, I mean, how many years
do
do they have to keep resigning the franchise tender, or does it always just stay that way?
You can franchise tag for as much as you want. I think up to 5 years.
But they're gonna get tired.
Every time you do it consistently,
It goes up.
Yes, the franchise. I think the first year is regular. The second year it goes up to a percentage, and as it keeps going, it goes up to a higher percentage. But I know after like year 5,
I wouldn't keep doing it now.
125%. It goes
Yeah,
up.
I wouldn't keep doing it then. I mean, I would just think after a while that the Steelers are about to break down, and unfortunately, Big Ben's gonna have to be a big part of that, because after a while they're gonna have to start drafting. I thought Mason Rudolph would be the guy behind him, but I seen when Big Ben went down, they brought in Joshua Dobbs. They didn't bring in Mason Rudolph. I thought Mason Rudolph was gonna be right behind Big Ben. And so Pittsburgh has a lot of decisions to make, even down to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin missed playoffs next year. How many times you gonna give him excuses before we finally hold him to, a stand-up a top head coach? Because this will be, every time you go to playoffs, he loses. And I guess you can't really expect him to win too much, because they don't have a defense, and I don't know how much the coach plays into the success of the defense, but people say that he took the team over from Coach Cowher, and ever since he hasn't been the same. Die Hard said, just to let y'all know, the Packers' windows are closed. The days of them counting everyone in the North as a win is over. They will focus on countering Bears front seven this offseason, and they will fail.
Why did he? Well, of course, Die Hard's going to say that. The window's never closed when we got A-Rod. Period. Put the team around him, and we will be fine.
Well, they will find a way countering Bears front seven. Didn't y'all almost beat the Bears, or?
We beat the Bears, and we did beat them the second time too.
And the only reason we lost that is because Jimmy Graham, Butterfinger ass. How much you saying, Kyle?
I just don't. I'm trying to. Who did the Bears lose to in the playoffs again? My mind is like blank right now. Okay, it lost to the Eagles. Okay, so I would assume that the Bears after a while would probably have to start adjusting to what they're gonna do on offense, because after a while there has to be some type of effect that your defensive coordinator leaving.
He left already.
Yeah, I'm saying after a while I think that there will be some type of effect or change or something that happens when your defensive coordinator leaves, especially as good as the Bears defense was this year. And then when do they have to pay Eddie Goldman? Is his
bring him back. Akeem Hicks is the one that does everything for him.
Also, Eddie Goldman free agency this year?
I don't know if they signed him back or not, but Akeem Hicks is the one that stopped all that stuff in the middle that allowed Mack to just rush that edge.
Oh, that's right, Khalil Mack. I forgot about him. Y'all had to sign him. And then who else you got? Trubisky. What wide receivers they have? I can't think of the Bears team right now.
Yeah.
I can't think of nobody right now.
Got the super squad right now when you put all the trades.
I don't know who it is, but I would think that the Bears also have a lot of work to do, because you're not getting to the Super Bowl game managing your offense. And I thought that as much as Dara was talking this year, the Bears are gonna go somewhat afar. But I think when they lost, did he say good game? He said something. I forgot what he said, but
yeah, he was very classy when they lost.
That's good, Die Hard. Proud of you. But nevertheless, there's a lot of things that the Bears I think would have to do too. And so I don't think the Packers window is closed because of the quarterback that they have. But the Packers' windows will close if they don't focus on defense this offseason. But I think they will. Once they cut Jimmy Graham and.
We got 2 first rounders, so.
Oh, y'all got 2 first rounders?
Yep.
Who is
First
it?
and 2 seconds.
Who
We
is
got New
it?
Orleans. We got
Oh.
Nola.
You got their first and their second, or just their first?
We got a first from them. I don't remember how we got our second. I know we traded our second last year in the draft to get 2 this year.
Oh, okay. So y'all should be good. I mean, as long as
Yes, that's how we got Ravens second because remember, we had a pick and they traded up to get Lamar and that was our first. So we got their second if I'm not mistaken. We got somebody second. I'm not sure.
I think we got Philly second.
I know we have 2 seconds. I don't know from where though. So I'm not sure.
I think we have Philly second. I gotta look back at it, but I think we have Philly second.
Green Bay, we on the rise, man. 2 seconds.
But yeah, I mean,
we got a
we'll
third,
see.
first.
Nevertheless, Irv, you there?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm gonna ask you this question since you're a Pittsburgh fan, because I know you wanna put your little input in. We was talking about Shazier returning. I don't know if you heard, but you know Shazier is supposed to return somewhere later this year, like late next year. They said it would be late if he would return. Would you? Not, I obviously know you probably wouldn't recommend him, you know, returning, but I mean, would you as a coach want to even allow it or no?
No. I give him a clipboard for them. You know, that's too dangerous, man. You know, you love football, but man, you know, that's dangerous, man. You
He
keep talking
can't
about that
walk.
bag.
It's scary. Like if you really watch him walk, his walking is so stiff. Like it's a trained walk, like a natural walk of his. It's really bad. Like he can't. Man, I seen him go on stage and he walked legit like a robot. Then like a couple weeks later, he walked on a field. It's scary. Like it's scary.
Well, they say he jogging again, but I would even ask to, what is his the dude name? Man, Alex Smith. Alex Smith has a leg injury that some people saying might put him out. Yeah, they said that might put him out for the year. So when something happens like that, do the team still have to pay them all their money?
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
Football is not guaranteed though, so.
No, Reese, remember, he got a high guarantee contract because he was almost up there with Kirk Cousins, and then Kirk Cousins signed.
Right.
Sometimes the contract not guaranteed. So like if they really wanted to, you could just get cut. You know.
Well, I think they're going to, but wouldn't he be on IR? They couldn't just cut him, right?
No, they could. They could just cut you.
They can, but it'll just be dead money they can't use.
Yeah, he just be dead money.
Damn, that
He's
sucks.
done probably though. I think he's done to the age.
Yeah. I think
How old is he?
Alex Smith
30
does-
something? 33? 34?
Yeah, he's like 30, 35, 34, 35, something like that.
Oh,
Alex
okay.
Smith is done, man.
So he done for.
And the thing about Alex Smith
So-
is that Alex Smith is a mobile quarterback. And them legs, they took away his legs. He's not even mobile no more. So,
Well, it looks like Jacksonville is gonna cut Blake Bortles.
Long time.
And I know a lot of people said that his career is over. I don't think it is, but
He's a good backup for somebody. He ain't no starter.
I was gonna ask, do you think he'll ever be?
Of a team killer. Legit, the
Well,
Jaguars still had a top
Ramsey may
10
leave too,
defense.
though. They gotta pay Ramsey now.
Ramsey's having the same issue as AB. They just can't. They're divas, man. They just can't keep their mouth closed.
But they both show up. I mean, Ramsey didn't get his money yet, so we already know what.
Ramsey didn't have a great year this year. He didn't have an awesome
He didn't?
year this year. Ramsey was getting beat. He was
He
getting
had
beat.
about like 3 or 4 picks.
Ramsey,
Yeah.
but he was getting killed though.
He was getting killed, Reese. He got his picks,
All
but Ramsey was
quarterbacks
getting
do though, like you know.
But I mean, who wouldn't want them on their team? Because I would want him on my team.
Oh, of course.
I'm saying if he hits free agency, Who you think going all out to get him?
Everybody, just about
Everybody going though.
It's hard to get a shutdown cornerback that can call himself that.
Yeah, but sometimes he do talk too much sometimes for his own
He
good.
talked a lot, but
Well, he called a lot of
sometimes you
quarterbacks
gotta
trash,
take it with
so I would hope that he don't.
Jack, well, you know what? Ramsey quit. The Jacksonville defense quit. The offense quit. They just had a bad
No,
off-year.
I wouldn't say the offense quit. I would say, like,
Yeah, they
Bortles
quit when
just-
they quit when they re-signed Boilers. That's when they quit.
Man, like, Blake Bortles is the definition of a single team. Like, that man right there couldn't even get a first down, and it was frightening to see. It's like he was really bad, or that offensive coordinator.
it's
was
crazy
just
because
really
he
bad.
looked like toward the end of the last year when he was playing, took him through that run against the Patriots, and he looked like he was figuring it out. And now,
So I'm
ever
applause.
since they did have a bunch of injuries on the O line, like they was all messed up.
So much going on.
They tired. Fan base tired of him.
But Jacksonville, I don't think. I know they keep talking about moving to London and this and that. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Man,
But
they kept Bortles because if you look, Tom Coughlin tried to mimic the Giants recipe, what he did over there with New England. Take a mediocre quarterback and just build it through the defense and let the defense down.
well, the thing is, the defense was good up until that. Was it Dallas game?
I always tell people this: your defense can only do so much if your offense can't put up at least a touchdown or two.
Well, wasn't Fournette hurt a lot too? Because Fournette was.
Before that. He's about to get traded also, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that team done next year then, because
They
I remember.
they don't like how he handled himself, so they're about to shop him off right out of there also.
Well, there's a lot of cocky players. That's what I don't understand. A lot of this. I mean, there's a lot of cocky players. I feel like as long as you show up.
He's just really disrespectful. No, he's just really disrespectful. I give him that. He don't respect the fans. He's one of those players. If he's in a mood, leave him alone. So, and it's tough to see because Fournette he's a beast, but Fournette just really don't know how to handle himself.
Well, I still
It
blame the
wouldn't shock me if
coach.
he's
I
a
feel like that
domestic
type of stuff. If you don't allow that type of stuff in the locker room.
It wouldn't shock me if he got a domestic violence case. It would not shock me at all. Trust me.
Yeah, he's very. I heard he's out of pocket. But yeah. So in this thing, because it has been almost an hour and a half. But nevertheless, the podcast will be Saturday, the regular podcast. And so I'll see y'all then. I'll end this thing.